To us in South and Southern Africa, and indeed the entire continent, the WCC has always been known as a champion of the oppressed and the exploited. The words of Nelson Mandela in one of his last public acts as South African president, speaking at the 50th anniversary celebrations of the World Council of Churches at its 8th Assembly in Zimbabwe's capital of Harare in December 1998. The Harare Assembly symbolised the dramatic changes in Southern Africa since the previous time a WCC Assembly had gathered in Africa, in Nairobi in 1975. Then Mandela was a political prisoner on Robben Island. Zimbabwe was known as Rhodesia, and South Africa was firmly in the grip of apartheid. The WCC was known throughout the world for its programme to combat racism, offering support to liberation movements fighting racial discrimination and oppression. Now, with the end of apartheid and South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994, Mandela could join former WCC General Secretary Philip Potter, who had become the public face of the programme to combat racism, on the stage at the Harare Assembly to mark the WCC's Jubilee, its 50th anniversary. In a moving moment, Sitembiso Leone, a Zimbabwean who'd passed her young child into Philip Potter's arms across the altar at the Vancouver Assembly in 1983 as a symbol of life, came forward in Harare and introduced her daughter, now 15 years old, to the former WCC General Secretary. The Assembly theme, "Turn to God, Rejoice in Hope," captured the spirit of optimism that pervaded the anniversary celebrations and echoed the closing words of the message from the Evanston Assembly in 1954. Therefore, we say to you, rejoice in hope. The Assembly marked not only the WCC's 50th anniversary, but the culmination of the ecumenical decade of churches in solidarity with women, 1988 to 1998. This was a 10-year programme of activities to empower women to challenge oppressive structures in their churches and communities. And immediately before the Assembly, more than 1,000 women and about 30 men gathered for a decade festival where they worshipped, celebrated, analysed and strategised. In a letter to the Assembly, the festival delegates called on the WCC's member churches to declare that violence against women is a sin, commit resources to restore women to their rightful place in God's household, and denounce economic injustice and racism. Yet, amid the celebrations and commemorations, there were indications that relations with the WCC's Orthodox member churches were reaching a crucial point. Orthodox said they felt marginalised by WCC decision-making processes, amid concern about ethical positions in Protestant churches. The Georgian Orthodox Church announced in 1997 it was withdrawing from membership. The Bulgarian Orthodox Church made a similar announcement during the Assembly itself. In the end, the Assembly agreed to set up a special commission on Orthodox participation in the WCC, which would report in 2002. And in the final minutes of the gathering, the Assembly voted to approve a proposal to declare 2001 to 2011 as the decade to overcome violence. Through slides, the Assembly saw the design of artist Chaz Maviane Davis taking shape through the hands of sculptor Wilbert Samapundo in the strong black Shona stone spirit sculpture interpreting the theme. The sculpture was presented to the Assembly by the President of the Zimbabwe Council of Churches, Enos Chom Utiri, on the 3rd of December during the opening session. He said, "May it be a reminder, it comes from our hearts." The sculpture became the unofficial logo of the Assembly.